what technology is giving today is a dashboard. As a physician, we
Mhm.
have instantly, what your FICO score is.
Right.
Instantly, what your credit score is. How come instantly you don't know what your health and well-being score is?
I agree.
Isn't that the most important thing we need to know? So when I look at it today, why I'm fascinated with AI is that your genome, epigenome, microbiome, and exposome, right?
Mhm.
If you bring all these four things together in a real time, at home, at work, at play, on the road, you create a real time dashboard of
Mhm.
Avanti and Poonacha. And then imagine you could go to your AI and say, the days I slept less than 5 hours, what happened? And
Right.
imagine the AI comes back and says, Poonacha, these are the people you met, how much time you spent on the road. This is the temperature and UV index, and this is the humidity. You might say, what? I didn't realize that maybe I need to get a humidifier, or maybe I need to avoid talking to these kind of people because kind of toxic. Maybe I'm stressed. So
Right.
today, I think AI is going to help us ask better questions
Mhm.
about who we are, right?
Yeah, what's coming up for me is that, this is actually what I teach in Ayurveda, right? I always tell people that, you know, your health is not lost or gained in one moment in a doctor's office or in a therapist's chair. It's gained and lost along the way with every decision you make. And so if you're feeling really tired one day, it's not enough to say, did I sleep well, right? It's about looking at the last 24 hours, 48 hours, even the last week of looking at all aspects of your life, right? Asking yourself, what have my interactions been with other people? What have my relationships been like? What am I eating? How much am I moving? Right? Asking all those questions, has that contributed to how I'm feeling so tired today? It's not just my sleep. Sleep is important, right? But it's sort of what you're saying is that sort of this dashboard. I think from an Ayurvedic standpoint, what I've been teaching people is to sort of become conscious, become aware, and actually ask the questions to create that dashboard for themselves, right? Of
In
like,
fact, your longevity book is exactly what you talk about inflammation, right?
mhm, mhm,
And life is inflammatory today. But if you
totally.
had this concept of events, I'm sure when a physician, when a person comes to you, what they tell you is a story.
Mhm,
Doc, I did this and what happened, but they have the body keeps score. So see, nobody got diabetes by eating a pizza last night,
for
right?
sure. Right,
It's a inflammatory lifestyle which
right.
created over time. And I think what has happened is that when you a good physician basically can ask and understand a person's story, right?
Mhm, mhm,
But imagine now AI and with the technology, this is basically lifestyle. So we
right.
have what you're born with, which is genomic. You have the potentiality, which is epigenetic. You have the gut
Yes.
microbiome, which is what's happening. Then you
Mhm.
have exposome, which is environment, right?
Right.
And typically, what you're doing in Ayurveda, same thing, right? You're looking at predisposition, Vata,
Mhm,
Pitta, Kapha, right? And you're understanding the body type, and then you look at what is the disposition,
mhm.
epigenetic. Then you tie it with the narrative. Then you basically do, which is very important, what you do in Ayurveda, which is chronobiology, right?
Yep. Mhm.
How is the day? How is the cycle? Because you are
Right.
connected very intrinsically to the universe, right?
Exactly. And so what you've just said is what I have thought about a lot lately is that, Ayurveda literally is like the original data-driven healing system. If you think about it from that perspective, right?
Personalized
It
medicine,
personalized medicine. It is the
right?
original. It is the original, right? And it's so amazing to me that, something that our ancestors wrote 5,000 years ago still has relevance today. It is adaptable, to our modern world because everything that we know in Ayurveda has been proven out by Western science. We know that the data is there, the studies are there, right? And so it sort of feels like we're on the cusp of another sort of leap forward, right? With AI from Ayurveda to AI. And so how do you feel about that? Like, what do you think about that idea of it being the original data driven healing system?
Right. So I think it is. I think it's our initial precision medicine system. If you think about it, Ayurveda, I say it's the 5 Ps, right?
Mhm,
We basically, first of all, it is very predictable. You can predict it, can personalize it, either process, platform, and participation. The five
mhm,
Ps.
mhm.
AI today is enabling it, right? Is
Right.
actually now making it accessible. And today, when you look at a person, you basically look at what do you call that? The stimulus, right? You look at the nadis, right?
Mhm,
So all
mhm.
of that, those kind of things, the nadi analysis can all be done now. We're using technology, Right?
Right.
So today we're at a very unique point because of AI, where we can now kind of take it to the next level and do it 24 bar 7,
Right.
right? Because
Right.
today we look at the Whoop or the Aura or Ultra Human. You can look at HR, HRV, you look at galvanic skin response, you look at
Sure.
gait and all of that. And so
Yep.
all of these things can be grouped together, what I call epigenetic lifestyle changes. And
Sure.
in real time, we can kind of looking at, okay, what is happening? What is happening?
Right.
And we can now reconstruct the story and the narrative.
Right. So I want to get back to something you said before about the intuition piece. And so what I'm thinking about right now as you're describing this is how do we then bring sort of this dashboard information that we have by wearing an Aura ring, a Whoop, whatever, technology we're wearing, and bring that to a human being, a physician, a healthcare professional, where we can then bridge that data with the intuition. Because I do think there's so much value in that intuition, right? You even described sort of the idea of generations living together in joint families, as we've grown up seeing in our heritage and our culture, right? And that was a way for us to have that intuition of me saying to you, "Poonacha, I see that you're not feeling so well. Let's go have a cup of chai and let's talk about it," right? That doesn't exist so much anymore. So how do we bring that human intuition back into this while going forward with this AI technology?
So this is what I think about quite a bit. So in fact, the reason Deepak and me is to co-create a company called Cyberhuman
Mhm.
is to really kind of bring together the first of all the dashboard, like how come we don't know what's happening with our lives in real time. The
That's
second thing, if you don't have MD after your name, you really should be just giving medical advice. Really
of
should
course.
not be.
Mhm.
Because today a lot of people, I think the good thing and the bad thing of AI and technology, everybody thinks they're a doctor, right? But
Exactly.
unless you go in the medical school, no. If you don't
Yeah,
have MD, please let's
right.
not try to do that. So
Mhm.
I think, but what I can do is that now give this insight to physicians. So
Yeah.
now they can look at it and get a very good snapshot in
Mhm.
30 minutes to see what has happened to this person, what is
Mhm.
the kind of narrative. So we can create a digital twin. So if I give you a platform which basically says, here is Punacha, and here are all the different parameters, what we call the 11 pillars of well-being, right? Which is
Mhm.
basically the body is a process. So there is a biostat, there's a chronological age, biological age, psychological age, and spiritual age. You can set that biostat, right? The second
Okay.
thing is deep rest. Third is nutrition. Fourth is nutritional supplements, complement adaptogens. Fifth, you're looking at movement. Sixth is eliminating toxicity, people, substance in place. Seventh is looking at love and relationships. Eighth is looking at a creative mind. Ninth is looking at youthful aesthetics. 10th is looking at connection with nature, community, and all of that, right? When you bring all of these principles together, you kind of create a kind of a model of a person to
Mhm.
return the body to homeostasis or
It's
healing,
Ayurveda,
which is
right? It's
which is
Ayurveda.
Ayurveda, yeah, which is Ayurveda, which is
I love it.
homeostasis, right? Which
Mhm.
is when I
Mhm.
read your book, I was thinking about. I said, yeah, the goal of a physician is to activate your natural intelligence in your
Right.
body to
Right.
promote healing.
Mhm.
I think this is the role of AI. I think so. In the hands of a crafted physician, they
Right.
now have the tools. Because there was a digital camera, doesn't mean everybody became an amazing photographer. What basically meant, in the hands of a good photographer, it just became amazing, right?
Right.
So
Mhm.
I think with this advent of AI and the kind of things we're looking at, I think physicians like you will be able to do a lot more insight
Mhm.
into care. I think the
Right.
quality of care will go up. I think also people can have a lot more time and creativity to go to
Mhm.
do the things they want. I
Right.
think at 55, I feel I know a lot more about my body, who I am, just because of AI and technology. I'm a
Mm.
lot more aware, right? And
Right.
now, if I was able to work with a physician who I do, I work with Dr. Chopra, then I work with Dr. Ara Supaya, who is a functional medicine, sports medicine. With a
Mhm.
combination of two, I feel I still want to talk to my AI, which is in Cyberhuman, and say, okay, at 85, I want to still finish climbing Mount Everest, which is my bucket list. I still want to ride my motorcycle all the time. And I want
Mhm.
to be able to, play with my grandkids. Uh, and that's my goal. So now give me my lifestyle to get me there.
Mhm.
And that could be how AI can come in.